But if in doing so, you're putting other people's lives in danger, it's a hard line to toe. You feel what I'm saying? It's like you want to stand up for your family member, your dead family member, and say, "No, this ain't right." The NFL needs to admit that they knew that these head injuries were going to hurt these guys later on in life. You want to do that, but if like Dave Duerson played with Jim McMahon, a dude who's been on record on plenty of different shows saying there's times that he's left the house to go to the store, and if he's made it to the store. Like that's a chore in and of itself. But if he did make it to the store, couldn't even find his way back home. Couldn't remember how to get back to his own house. So when you're the family of Dave Duerson and you're like, okay, I want to do right by my dad or by my husband or by my brother or whoever the family members are, you look and you see someone who he played alongside suffering the way he's suffering. I guess you just say I can't do that to him. I can't do that to Jim. In an effort to do what I feel like is right by Dave, who's already gone. It's a tough spot to be in. I don't envy it at all. I don't envy being in that, in that position whatsoever.
At the end, it's one of those things where, Dave Duerson, if he was still alive, and I know it's crazy to say, but I'm sure that he would want to make sure that like any of his surviving teammates, because that's the one thing that we know about these professional sports is that it's a brotherhood. That he will probably want to make sure that if they still living, that they all right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, it's kind of one of those things, and it's good not to be selfish in those situations, because it's very easy to be selfish because you could be like, well, that was my dad, or that was my husband, or whoever.
You're mad, man. You're mad. You feel
right.
like your dad's been lied to.
I want what the NFL, what they owe us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so to do the right thing, like that's the right thing to do. To let those other guys that are still living, be able to get their funding, so then they could try to have a better, more comfortable life, or for however long they got left.
Yeah.
It's to be commended. Because I don't know if I would, just talking about it, having lost my dad, like I don't know if I would, how I would think, how I would feel,
It's a tough dilemma, man.
Selfish, because as humans, we just selfish anyway. Like especially when it comes to that kind of stuff.
And here's the thing, Rob. I wouldn't even be as quick to just put it in the category of selfishness, because just think about it. You feel like the NFL is getting away with a lie. They're being able to, because part of this settlement, for those of you who aren't very familiar with it, is that the NFL has agreed to pay the money, but they have to. They don't have to submit any documentation. Any of the documentation that's been proven that they have that states that they knew about these head injuries a long time ago, they don't have to reveal any of that stuff. They don't have to admit any wrongdoing. They just pay the money and walk away. And so that's the dilemma that, like, the Duerson family, the Seau family, I don't know if they're still going to be involved in appealing it or in a separate lawsuit, but this is the dilemma that they're in. You feel like, my loved one is dead because you lied to them. You know what I mean? And now you're continuing the lie by telling everyone that the goal is to make the game safer. Nah, that ain't what it is. Just you lied to these people. Had you treated the concussions the way they should have been treated, okay, you have a concussion. At the very least, you can't go back in this game. You feel me?
Right.
like the dude that killed himself that played center for the Steelers. This dude was back in the game like the next play. You feel me? Like some smelly sauce, and he's back in the next play, not next game.
And for everything that we know about the concussion and how it's not the first concussion that gets you, it's when you have, it's the second one, and then if you're going back in the game and you already got a concussion, it's a good chance that you can end up with another one in that same game.
Yeah, multiple.
Especially playing football. Yeah. And then, so basically, that's the groundwork for CTE right there.
Yep.
So, if you do that, say if you have multiple concussion games, let's say 3 times in a 16-week season, right? Like by the time that season over with, dude, you probably already got calcium deposits and everything forming in whatever lobe that is, the lobe of your brain where that CTE, start the calcium deposits start to develop. So
yeah, let me throw this at you. While you talking about numbers, let me throw this at you. Because if I'm gonna let you back in the game, guess what else you gonna do on Tuesday? You're gonna practice too. And practice ain't like practice now. They was hitting that practice too. So while you got 3 concussions in last game, you're gonna get a couple more during the week. Yeah, it's a bad look. And if you're the family of one of these guys, it's a tough spot, man, to be like, my dad or my loved one is dead, and I believe that they're dead because they were lied to. They were misinformed. Purposely, too. Not even on accident. They purposely told these dudes, don't worry about that. You just dinged up. No big deal. How many fingers I got?
Smell this, right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Smell this. Take this.
It's the league that's always worrying about what, Rob? The integrity? That's why it's such a joke. That's why that whole line, it's my job to uphold the integrity of the league. What integrity? Integrity, Goodell. Like my man.
There's nothing more important than the shield.
like
we
my man.
Protect the shield at all costs.
The daddy on Highly Questionable call that dude Fidel Goodell.
Oh my God.
He always called him Fidel Goodell. And I guess here we go, sticking with the theme of lawsuits against the NFL. All these things just kind of like fell on me today, as a matter of fact. I don't know if you guys remember in 2013, there was a lawsuit filed, in part by former players about their likenesses and being compensated for their likenesses. Well, that a ruling was issued. It was a $50 million settlement. But here's the caveat to the settlement. It's always something, right? It can't be just as simple as what it is. The settlement did not provide direct payment to the players. Instead, it established a $42 million fund designed to help, retired players with things like housing, career, transition, and medical needs. And these dudes they're appealing that because,
they want their money.
Yeah, it's like, I'm a grown man. I don't need nobody to give me no damn allowance. Give me my damn money. But that appeal failed today. The quote, who is this quote from? It says, the benefits of the settlement, the judge, Judge Paul Magnuson. That's like one of them dudes from Wild World Sports. They be pulling, doing the strongman contest. Like, all those dudes' names are Magnuson. Every last one of them, I swear it is. The benefit of the settlement to the class are plain. It will assist those who most need assistance and will resolve the very problem that this lawsuit seeks to address by allowing former players true access to the value of their rights of publicity. Every hour of attorney time spent opposing the settlement only diminishes the value of the settlement to the members of the class. But hold on, so that means, so what they're saying is, if it is going to help me more if I blew my money, or if I ran into hard times, it's going to help me more, as though someone who's broke now, their likeness is worth more than mine because I got a couple businesses and I'm not doing badly. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Or like, for example, or somebody like Chris Carter, who's on TV now, you know what I mean? Versus, who do we talk about? That was a basketball player, but in the same sense. The basketball player we talk about that was working at McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
Let's call him a football player. Like, that dude would get more money because his current situation is worse.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, I guess if I was Chris Carter, like, I'd feel cool about that. Like, okay, I got a pretty good gig here at ESPN. They paying me out the wazoo to pretty much work a couple months a year, and this dude, he's feeling hard times. I guess I would feel compassionate for him. But for somebody to tell you that that's what's happening is kind of the weird part to me. You know what I mean? Like, all you dudes are entitled to this money, but certain dudes, because of whatever reason that you don't have your money anymore, are entitled to more. All right. Look, I guess it's weird to me, but whatever.
You remember when, and you remember when Michael Jordan just would not allow them to put him on any video game? Remember that?
Yeah, it was always a bald-headed dude, but he wasn't dark-skinned. He was kind of like he was kind of like brown-skinned. He was like number 26 or something.
Yeah, but he did the Jordan move.
All his attributes was like 99.
Exactly. So you knew who it was.
Right.
And then when Jordan finally got whatever it was he wanted, because I forget what it was, but he finally authorized them to be able to use his likeness, after they agreed to whatever his terms were. But that's why. I mean, because it's like, especially when you somebody like that. I mean, your likeness is definitely worth something.
Yeah.
And if you in the business, if you're, as you like to put it, if you are your own corporation, because that's what athletes are, correct?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And so if that's the case, then you got to be able to collect. I mean, and the thing about it is, like, shoot, man, you remember how it was when Michael Jordan when he finally got on the video game. Like, if you pick the Bulls, everybody, oh man, you cheating.
Yeah.
You remember that was the thing?
Yeah, 'cause he was the tightest dude out there. You couldn't stop him.
Right. And it was like he brought value to the game. I'm sure they sold a couple million more of them games with him on it than they did without. So there is some value. And I mean, like, shoot, there's no way that you go tell me, if I'm
B.J. Armstrong.
No, I mean, the BJ's likeness is more than mine, or, in football terms, so that's what we're talking about. You're not going to tell me if I'm trying to say Adrian Peterson, right? And I'm doing well for myself. You're not going to make me think that Jarius Norwood deserves more money than me. Like, there's no way you're going to do that.
Douchebag said Jarius Norwood, the runaway slave, as I used to call him.
Yeah, there's just no way. You know what I'm saying?
That's
there's
pretty
no
good.
way.
That dude probably Jarius Norwood. That's pretty good.
I'm just saying, man. like there's just no way. I'm sorry, man. You're not going to tell me that, screw that. Even if I am Chris Carter working at ESPN, like, no, man.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, it's weird like that. You don't want to be that dude, but still, you're like, yeah, but. This is Sports Kings Live. I'm Big Mike. The other voice you're hearing is Rob Calloway. We're on Spreaker.com and on the Spreaker app via your iPhone or your Android. We're also on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Sports Kings Live, and on the email, sportskingslive@gmail.com. We do this every Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. So if you're listening right now, make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend, and you follow us on all our social media situations so you get the updates on what's going on with the show.
Tomorrow,
okay.
Is tomorrow a 90-minute show or no?
The Hawks play tomorrow.
Yeah,
tomorrow will be abbreviated again at 90 minutes for the Atlanta Hawks game as well. It's going to start at 8:30. The West Coast game start at 9 o'clock, so we're going to always be good for those.
All right.
But the Atlanta Hawks games, the ones here in Atlanta, not sure how they're going to do it on the Central Time situation with
they all at 8:30.
Are they at 8:30?
They are 8:30.
So yeah, we'll abbreviate those shows down to 90 minutes so that we can enjoy the game, and you guys can too. For the people who are here listening to us in Atlanta, and we picked up some other markets too, dude. We got like Wisconsin somewhere today. It's like, we appreciate you guys. I mean, thank you. Just spread the word. We got to get more.
And the goddamn truth is, we might not have to abbreviate that music show.
Yeah, the way it's looking. Yeah, the way it's looking. We'll see, though.
Tuesday might be the last abbreviated show.
It's a scrappy bunch. So we'll see, man. See if they can, play with some additional energy. And you never know, man. You get a couple of calls to go to your way, the ball bounces a little way, some foul trouble here and there. You never know. But we'll see, because it's going. That's the other thing I meant to mention last hour too. Before we move on here with our NFL conversation, it's going to take a lot. Like, did you realize the way LeBron was playing, he's expending a lot of